So some of the pros were there's nothing to look at on your phone. So when you're out, you start not looking at your phone because there's nothing to look at. You pick up your phone, there's no social or anything. Touching your phone disappears. You quit picking it up. Another pro is when I'm out, I'm focused on the present. It almost feels like a blanket of anxiety is off you. Sometimes when I'm out, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, am I missing something? It's like, I got to check my email. I got to check Slack. I got to check Facebook. I got to check Instagram, TikTok. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Eat, Sleep, and Invest. I'm your host, Brian Driscoll. Hey, today we're going to talk about the episode I made about a month ago, switching from an iPhone to a flip phone. I'm going to go through what I found, right? So first thing is I went and I bought a flip phone, right? I bought a TCL flip phone. And the reason I did this was I wanted to unplug. I'm sitting out having fun with the family, things like that. I get bored for a second. I go on Facebook and I start seeing things and I noticed it was bringing my mood down. So I'm thinking, okay, what's the easiest way to do that? My idea is buy a flip phone. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm going to go through the pros and cons here of what I found. So this first flip phone, this TCL, the one I have right here, it worked great for a couple of days. The only main problem I found was it is a real pain to text. And I'm in business and I do a lot of different things. It's like I need to be able to text message people. So I had an idea. I'm like, okay, maybe there's a phone out there. And let me let you guys know this too. There are not many flip phones on the market. So it's hard to find a flip phone. So what I did was I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's a flip phone out there that I can voice to text. That would be perfect. So what I did is I found this Nokia phone here. This one here, pretty sweet. Like an old Nokia flip phone. Reminded me a little bit kind of like the Razr. And this was awesome. It has Google installed on it. So when I'm texting, I press the button, I voice text, and it's awesome, right? But the problem I found with this phone was I couldn't group text. So I'm over here looking like an idiot. Somebody's sending me a group text trying to introduce me to one of their clients or whatever. And I respond back on this phone and it sends two individual texts. Like, this is silly. I can't be doing this. So that phone didn't really work out that well either, right? So then I was thinking, okay, what about a BlackBerry? So I ordered this puppy off of eBay, this BlackBerry. BlackBerries are sweet. It's got the keyboard at the bottom. So I'm like, okay, texting's going to be easy. BlackBerry's a little bit smarter. I still have basic functionality online, but I'm not going to be browsing social media on this thing. So I ordered this from eBay. It was like $85 or something. I get it, and it just didn't work. I put in a SIM card. I went to the store. They're like, hey, it's on G4 or something instead of G5 or G3. Took a different SIM card. So I'm like, okay, let me take a step back here. So I'm wasting a lot of money and a lot of time, more of the time, going back and forth with Verizon and getting these phones and setting it up and even installing contacts. Like installing contacts into a flip phone, a little bit more of a pain than you think. And it slows it down if you got like thousands of contacts. I started saying that, okay, what's my main objective of what I'm trying to accomplish? My main objective is to unplug and reduce stress, right? So I started thinking that way. Before I go into what I found, I'm going to go through these issues. Here's the issues I found. If anybody's thinking about doing this, I'm going to go through the pros and cons. So some of the issues on using a flip phone. If you're parking, a lot of the pay meters require an app. You can't rent things like if you wanted to rent a bike or scooter, things like that. Can't pay for parking. If you use Google authentication, you need a smartphone. It's really hard to text. You can't really send images. You can't check shipping. Like Amazon will text you a link. You can't open it. There are no links you can open. On the Nokia, it would open links, but it's this janky interface. You can't really see much there. You can't do group text messages. The weird thing is, too, when you're receiving a group text message, it makes you actually download it. So there's a weird thing there also. You can't deposit your checks. You can't listen to Audible. Can't do Spotify. I had to re-upload my contacts. A little bit of a pain trying to get them onto there. As I said, you can't open links. Airplane tickets. You can't have your airplane tickets on you. QR codes. You can't open those. I take notes on my phone. It's hard to take notes on there. Calendar. I can't check my calendar. I was looking to see when one of my flights left. And I had to make my wife, she's in the car, she has an iPhone. I'm like, hey, check when my flight's leaving because I can't check it. Airport priority pass. If you have an airport priority pass, you cannot, they require you to have that on your phone. Can't watch videos. Can't order Uber, Instacart, things like that when you're traveling, right? So those are just some of the negative things I found from switching to a flip phone. So some of the pros were there's nothing to look at on your phone. So when you're out, you start not looking at your phone because there's nothing to look at. Like after you start looking, you pick up your phone, there's no social or anything. Touching your phone disappears. So you quit picking it up. Another pro is when I'm out, I'm focused on the present. It almost feels like a blanket of anxiety is off you. So I don't know if you guys are anything like this, but sometimes when I'm out, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, am I missing something? It's like, I got to check my email. I got to check Slack. I got to check Facebook. I got to check Instagram, TikTok. after like the first day or two, you start being less anxious on that kind of stuff because there's nothing to look at. And it's all there when you want to get back. I started batching things. It's like when I'm going to check emails, I'll check them in the morning. Like I'll check them at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whenever. It's like I'm batching my activities versus checking email all day long. I was at a party. I was able to just get to chill out. I'm sitting there. There's nothing to do. I'm just talking. I also notice everybody else is in their phone, but that's one of the positives there too, because you get to actually like chill and relax. I got to think a lot more. I got to read a lot more. I was more relaxed, more focused. I was more in control of my mood. So I didn't have all these different media and different social things popping up, like kind of tainting your mood. Yeah, I have a choice too on whether to take my iPhone with me. So I'll let you know here too. What I did was I still have an iPhone at this point. I still have an iPhone for my work stuff that does have the apps, but I leave it at the computer after 5 o'clock. So it's like I'm not completely disconnected. I'm just completely disconnected on off hours, right? So having the choice to have your phone on you that has your apps on it is nice. It's really awesome on weekends when you're spending time with people that you don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, right? I'm probably reading 3 times the books I was reading before, and I'm thinking clear, you know? This brings me back to like, what was my primary objective? I'm trying to unplug and reduce anxiety and stress, but the flip phone started giving me stress as well too. It's just different kind of stress. It's like, okay, I'm going to the airport. I don't have my priority pass on there, right? Or different things like that. So I started going back and I started Googling and I researched, and here's what I found. This is the solution I have as it stands right now. I have my work iPhone, which is an iPhone. It's an iPhone X. It's a little bit older one that has all my apps on it. My original, my iPhone 15, I think it is, or 14 or whatever, that iPhone, I went back to that one and I removed every single app from it that's social. So one thing I found, I did some researching. I found out the iPhone has something called assistive access. I think it's something just for old people. Like if you were going to get your grandparents a phone or something like that. Here's what it is. Check this out. So it takes your iPhone and it makes it into like a dumb phone. So what I was able to do is I took off all my apps on my phone. I even Gmail. Like I don't even have email on my iPhone, but I can still go to the airport. I can still have my priority pass. I can still order Uber, things like that. So my solution here was I went back to the iPhone. I removed everything from it. And if I want to really unplug, I put this assistive access on it. Or if not, I just leave it in regular mode, but the apps aren't on the phone. So I don't have any apps there. I would have to physically re-download Gmail or Facebook or Instagram or anything like that onto my phone. So that's the solution I found. It kind of sucks because it wasted like a month. My wife was telling me I'm freaking nuts, keep changing phones and this and that. But that's what I found in the end, like a win-win for me. I still have the iPhone. I can still do everything that I want to be able to do on the phone. I'm not handcuffed to using old technology, but also I'm completely unplugged. So anyways, I just wanted to share with you guys what my outcome was. Love to hear what if you guys have ever tried this out, or if you guys have ever had a problem, what you guys found. But until next time, get out there, crush it, close some deals. We'll see you guys.